for the C final. Keith Segal will take us from pole position in car number 58. On the charge to turn 1. Are they all going to make it through? It's a good start for Keith Segal, rounding turn number 1, but up the inside when Jagjit Singh there got the run out of turn 1 and will take the lead. Greg Smith's had a good one as well. Oh, big massive sideways moment for Keith Segal. Brilliant hold from Cups of Tea there. 11 minutes and 40 seconds to go. This is a longer race, of course, and then
that is the 77 of Simon Sharp.
Yeah, slight glance at the tyres there. Did well to hold on for that one. Contact warning for the 87 of Tony Philbin. So it is Smith ahead of Singh. Bryn Albert's had a good start as well. The number 32, Sam Morris, has come through from the 5th row of the grid. It's up to P4. So if that top 4 have got a good opportunity now, Howard. They've got a gap, they've broken away. If they can work together, they'll have these 4 places into the B final sewn up.
Yeah, absolutely. Keith Segal battling away with George Lawler in the mid part of that lap and has managed to make the move stick. 58 now ahead of the 48, but it is indeed Greg Smith who leads to the end of lap 1, but not for long, because there is Jagjit Singh down the inside of Smith. He's going to try and tuck underneath and get back into 2. Andrew Bushell is going to try and get into this as well in the 52. Singh and Bushell have a bit of pod-to-pod contact. You've got to be careful of that. You don't want to be getting, if you get an ABC bump and pass, that is your qualification for the B final done and dusted.
And there may be a cone penalty coming there. We saw a similar incident with, I want to say it was Rob Langthorpe earlier on this morning.
Yes.
So just watch out for the number 66 maybe receiving a 1-place cone penalty. Now if it stays like this, that's fine. He's not going to get moved out to the top 4. There is a penalty for Tony Philbin, so he's had a bump and pass. He's currently down in 14th place. Apologies, not Bryn Alvin in this race. It's because it's the same suit. But Andrew Bushell there in 3rd place.
Yeah, absolutely. Penalty for Tony Philbin. ABC bump and pass. 4 places to be deducted at the end of the race. Definitely not qualifying for the B final. As a result, Greg Smith still in the lead of this one. 1 lap on since Singh challenged him for the lead. And going down the order now, Andrew, James Dunnett and Tim Clark have come a cropper in some way, shape or form like that, right to the back of the pack.
Oh, hey, being right, yep, cone penalty for Jagjit Singh. So he's got to finish 3rd or higher now to qualify through to the B final. If he finishes in 4th, even if the gap is huge behind him, to at the moment it is Robin Kassam, he will still lose the position. Having said that, Robin Kassam in the 110 is the fastest driver out there at the moment, at 56.530 last time around. The gap to Sam Morris there in 4th is 0.9 of a second, and Kassam took just over 3/10 out of Morris on that last tour of the circuit. Let's see what it is now. Jagjit Singh challenging Greg Smith for the lead of the race and gets forced there. Good hold, really good hold from Jagjit Singh, but Greg Smith needs to be careful because we could, well, I think that may be a contact warning, but it could have very easily been a forced driver wide. It's an overtake under yellow penalty now coming in for Simon Sharp.
Keith Segal's fallen off somewhere around down to the back as well, but I tell you what, Jagjit Singh is lucky that the pit entry is where it is here at Bayford Meadows, because without the grip of that tarmac he was going straight into the tyres at turn number 1. You've got to be careful. This is what we're talking about. There's no point throwing it all in to get that race. I know that you want to take a race win. You know, it's a natural racing drive, and a little trophy indeed, a racing driver's mentality absolutely through and through. But the bigger picture is that you can get more points by getting up into that B final. At the moment, it's okay, as there's a cone penalty for Greg Smith. Cone penalty for Greg Smith, and that means that we've now got another penalty to take into account. As Jagjit Singh, someone else who has a cone penalty hanging over him, takes 2nd place back off of Andrew Bushell.
Right, the mental abacus is coming out now. So at the moment, you've got to remember that grid penalties are always applied from the back first. So Jagjit Singh's penalty would be applied before Greg Smith. So effectively, Andrew Bushell is in the lead of this race because he gets past Singh when he gets his cone penalty applied on the timing, and then he gets past Smith as his penalty is applied on the timing.
But is unlikely to know it, so will still likely fight tooth and nail to try and stay in this top 4 is the key thing to bear in mind. Sam Morris, Andrew, I note, has done well here, I think, to stave off the attack from Robin Kassam. Has upped his pace significantly and is doing well there in the number 32. That's one to bear in mind. New fastest lap of the race from Jagjit Singh. Is he going to try and challenge for the race win again? I'm not saying he shouldn't, I'm just saying he's got to pick his moment carefully here, otherwise it could be well, we could all end in tears, basically, in terms of getting into that B final. Just, I mean, if nothing else, it's the most cost-effective way to race it. You get a free extra race. It's always found, you know, it's a little lottery win, that, whenever you get
Always
that.
how I like to do things. Greg Smith continues to lead the race on the road though. Jagjit Singh's pace is good though, 55.199 last time around, and he's closing in on Greg Smith. Who else is on the move?
Tony Philbin up a couple of places on that last lap, but if memory serves correctly, still has an ABC bump pass penalty to be applied, so he's trying to negate those more than anything, as again Singh is going to look for the lead of this race. This looks a slightly cleaner move here down the inside of turn 1, gets the job done. Again, Greg Smith thinks about tucking under in time for turn 2, but can't get it done this time.
So for Andrew Bushell, that doesn't change anything at all. There's still these two drivers ahead of him who both have cone penalties. An unsafe release penalty for Aaron Stillwell, so that's probably him returning to the circuit after an off-track moment, and somebody needing to take avoiding action as a result of that. There's a penalty for Rizwan Mangat as well. Bump and pass. A number of drivers ruling themselves out of the top 4 here, also losing points in the midfield.
Aaron Stillwell, we covered unsafe release.
Yes, we have.
So we covered what we're meaning by that one.
Yes.
Okay, sorry. Yes.
5.5 minutes to go. Change of the lead will be confirmed in a moment's time as Jagjit Singh crosses the timing beam. There he goes, Greg Smith there in second place, ahead of Andrew Bushell. Slightly defensive line against Bushell there. Sam Morris still holding on to 4th place.
Gareth Pritchard passed Alex Brandon for 9th place as well, at the same time as Ross O'Brien gets by on Russell Cooper. Greg Smith having to go defensive here into hairpin 1 against Bushell.
I don't want to criticise too hard, but I would not be defending here. I would not be defending it. We're working with Bushell because Bushell's got some tiny pace.
Yes, albeit he's got the wrong cone penalty.
Yeah, and you don't want to encourage Sam Morris and Robin Kassam back into the battle, because it really is a thing around here at Bayford Meadows. If you start fighting with other drivers, you lose stacks of time around this circuit, with it being by far the most technical circuit that we go to on the season. I mean, let's just have a look at it. Singh does a 55.1. These two guys are in the 55.8s now. Morris and Kassam 55.7, 55.6. I know Greg won't be able to hear me right now, but watching this back, try and keep working with a driver in this situation, because it can encourage those behind.
Problem Singh. Singh has got an issue with his car and has just lost all sorts of time there, and is down to 3rd. Is he back up to speed now? It looks like he's okay, but something there, Andrew. There was some issue there. His car bogged down or something in the lower race. He seems unhappy, but he's able to keep up with Bushell now down the back straight. That was a dramatic moment there, and now Singh. Well, I mean, as you say, there's a gap back to Sam Morris, so he should be all right. But he has got a 1-place deduction to be applied. He'll be paranoid now. I would have thought about that happening to him again.
Whether it's a kart issue or whether he just ran wide and clipped some tyres and was questioning the position of the tyres.
Maybe.
Very, very slow off of turn 4. He seems back up to speed now. 3.5 minutes to go. Contact warning for Ross O'Brien. Right, so let's look. Sam Morris is getting on the pace now. 55.4. They can just see him there in the back of shot. 1.6 seconds is the gap. The trouble is, he's pulling Robin Kassam with him. It's down the inside. There goes Jagjit Singh. He's going to let him back through. And look at this.
You're losing time.
You're losing time.
Massive time by doing this. Just pick your moment. Pick your moment if the move is on. If the move isn't on, hold station.
Yep.
Hold station, because it's going to pay dividends when you get your extra opportunity to score bigger points, let's not forget, in the B final. That's what it's all about here. Unless you're really, I mean, as I say, don't get me wrong, there is a little trophy that you get for winning this, and it'll look very nice on your mantelpiece, but eyes on the prize, and the prize here is points.
So the driver that will be licking their lips at the moment isn't necessarily Sam Morris on the screen at the moment in P4, it's the driver behind him, Robin Kassam. At the moment he's got nothing to lose. He's sat in 5th place. It's the worst place to be in a C final, because the first of the ones not going through onto the B final. He will just keep hoping in his mind, come on, fight guys, let me get back into this, because 2 minutes and 10 seconds to go on the clock. That's still a good amount of time to make some moves, even if it's on the last lap or two.
Yep. Peter Sharp and George Lawler starting to close up as well behind. So this could, I mean, I don't want to overhype it, but if they do start really battling in the last few laps, we've already seen a fair few. I think we've already seen, Andrew, a fair old reluctance to work together here. If this really starts to be a gloves-off battle, it really could bring a lot of these drivers into it. And I think you can sort of detect from Greg Smith and Will to sort of want to get them on the road ahead of all of this, because I feel this is about to all kick off. Andrew Bushell is your net leader of the race, don't forget. Though he may not himself yet be aware of that, because Greg Smith has a one-place deduction to be applied at the end of the race for a cone penalty. So too does Jagjit Singh there in third place in the number 66. Andrew Bushell in second and Sam Morris in fourth are thus far penalty-free. We've got 1¼ minutes left on the clock with this C final. Russell Cooper just got past Rizwan Mangat. That's in a battle over 14th place. James Dunnett as well, getting by Matt Cliff on that last lap as well for 21st. Some drivers on a bit of a recovery here, trying to get as many points as they can out of this one. For all but 4 of these drivers, this will be the last time they race in this Club 100 2021 sprint season, as we go on to the last lap.
The top 3 have got themselves organised now as Jagjit Singh goes down the inside of Andrew Bushell. That's okay. Bushell correctly just gave a bit of room there to Singh, let him get through. It's not going to affect things in terms of grid position for himself. There is a very close battle going on though for 4th place. Yep. Sam Morris is now under pressure from Robin Kassam. That is the last spot in the B final that you're looking at on your screen, folks. Can Sam Morris hold on to it? He's keeping it nice and cool through the middle sector. Greg Smith to win another C final. He's got a good gap over Jagjit Singh behind, but of course he's still got that cone penalty hanging over him, so he's going to lose that C final win to Andrew Bushell. There was a little bit of a worry on our parts that this top 3 weren't getting themselves organised, but they did in the end. Greg Smith takes it on the road, Jagjit Singh second, but it's Andrew Bushell who'll take the win, and there's a celebration from Sam Morris, who's qualified for the B final. A great drive from Sam Morris under extreme pressure from Robin Kassam in 5th. Sharp was in 6th, Lawler 7th, Gareth Pritchard 8th, Tony Philbin with penalties finishes on the road in 9th. Good drive from Kim Ely as well, up to 10th place. Alex Brandon, Aaron Stillwell, Ross O'Brien, Russell Cooper and James Browning was your top 15. Rizwan Mangat in 16th, David Hamer in 17th, Tim Clark in 18th, Simon Sharp in 19th. A real shame for Stakit Segal, who deserved a lot more than 20th place in the C final today. James Dunnett, Matthew Cliff and Gratchan Kalfinski. That was your runners in the lightweight sprint C final for Bayford Meadows round 11.